With that, let's welcome in our panelists today. Peter Earle joins us with the American Institute for Economic Research, and John Tabacco's back with us, host of Wise Guys here on NEWSMAX. All right, Peter, start us off. The real impact of weight loss drugs on the restaurant industry. What could this look like going forward?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, first, it means we'll probably see less foot traffic at restaurants. Probably means people will order less. And it also means that they'll probably stop ordering the high-calorie foods and shift more towards salads and things like that. So altogether, it means, a lot more softness in restaurants. Probably it means restaurants are going to have to offer things that they wouldn't have ordinarily or shift their offerings. But I mean, it's one of those things that on top of inflation, which sort of winnowed people's ability to spend, it's going to impact restaurant earnings going forward, and people are going to become a lot more selective.
All right. Yeah, just interesting to follow that, and Ozempic saying in the headlines, and now for a somewhat different reason, less dining out. Interesting. John, I wanted to get to this headline also this morning, and this is the headline. It says, Trump Media and Crypto.com partner to launch $6.4 billion treasury venture. Devin Nunes, CEO of Trump Media, saying this, quote, "We continue to be bullish on cryptocurrency. We are excited to be partnering with a leading global cryptocurrency platform," end quote. What do American viewers take away from this?
Well, look, this is really important street news. Donald Trump has done some great things to advance the adoption of crypto, and his company, which he's still a majority owner of and under Devin's leadership, has really forged a path to say, hey, we're going to go into this all in. To me, this is a double-barrel blockbuster deal. One, they did the $6.4 billion treasury. That's a business combination. That's going to trade. When it gets regulatory approval, it'll be the biggest in history. But the second announcement they made is a joint venture that they're going to do with Crypto.com. These are two of the most, I think, best name brands in America right now. If you're part of MAGA and you like crypto, you got Donald Trump's company with Crypto.com. They've weathered all storms. And, they're really going after now with this utility token that they're coming out with. They're going to joint venture with Kronos, which is their utility token. And they're really going after companies like Binance, these offshore companies who had all kinds of regulatory problems, $4 billion in fines. They moved from China to Japan to Malta to the Caymans. I think Devin and Crypto.com are really zeroing in on an American company that can put an American product out there that you could trust and believe in. And I think the two of these combined are going to be really big for crypto and also really big for the companies involved.
Wow, the journey to make America the crypto capital of the world continues on with this administration. And speaking of Trump moves, Peter, I got to ask you about the future of Lisa Cook, the Fed board governor, the member who has apparently been fired. This has to do with allegations of mortgage application issues. She hasn't been charged with anything or convicted of any wrongdoing, and she says she's going to stay on. She's not going to resign. But what's happening here with the president getting involved, wanting her gone, and of course wanting to see rates from the Fed lowered?
Well, he wants to put people who are more sympathetic with his view of much lower interest rates on the FOMC board. And Lisa Cook's mortgage application issue is one that could conceivably trigger the conditions under which she could be removed, which is for cause. But I think they need a conviction first. So it's going to wind up being a fight, and it may wind up going to a court itself even before she, even before the allegations against her are proven. So I think this could go to the Supreme Court or at the very least, a higher court, because it's going to be contentious.
Yeah, one of the Federal Reserve governors, Lisa Cook, being let go by the president. This is solely based on allegations alone of mortgage fraud. And John, it sounds a lot like if you go back in time to President Trump's civil fraud suit in New York and Manhattan to obtain favorable rates. Again, allegations alone, but it does seem to go hand in hand. I mean, it's almost a carbon copy. Though he was charged, she was not. You're in the allegation phase. Your thoughts on this and the removal of one of the Fed Reserve govs?
Well, look, first of all, I think Donald Trump took some incoming when he chose Bill Pulte to run the FHMA. But Pulte's been digging into the records and finding a lot of instances, Adam Schiff, Letitia James, Lisa Cook. So he's doing his job. Kudos to Bill Pulte. I think he's a rock star. But whether or not Trump has the authority to do it, I've spoke to you guys before and said I'm a little scared about moving in on the independence of the Fed chair, because when the pendulum swings back and they're in charge, we don't want them knocking our Fed chair out. But at the same time, I think this Lisa Cook issue, Bill Pulte put the 2 documents out there, and if any of us would have told 2 different banks they're both our primary homes and we got caught, we'd be in the hoosegow. So I think she should get it. And this is an easy way maybe for Trump to get some leverage, fire a shot across the bow of Powell and say, I'm taking her out, you're next.
All right, we'll watch to see if any charges or convictions come down and what's going to happen with the Fed next. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us, Peter Earle and John Tabacco. Appreciate it.